Hey guys, Retro Reviews here again with another Transformers video review. This time I'll be taking a look at the Deluxe class Red Alert from Transformers Cybertron. So here he is in his rescue vehicle mode. It's not officially licensed, but this is based off of the early to mid 2000s Dodge Magnum vehicle model. And actually pretty nice looking vehicle mode. Cheeky use of the top of his head being used as like the centerpiece for the light bar, but it does kind of break the illusion a lot of the car mode, because that is still very clearly his head. But other than that, we do have some nice translucent red for the windows and the light bars, and some nice gold painted, or I guess that's more of a bronze color to the rims, as well as the headlights. We got some nice blue striping going on along the sides. Unfortunately, nothing going on the back except for the metallic dark gray bumper being painted all throughout the side. Overall, really nice. You could definitely tell this was back when they did not cheap out on using the paint gun a bit on the vehicle modes, or on the toys. So that's pretty much it for the vehicle mode. It does roll really well thanks to the 4 pinned wheels instead of the mushroom pegs, but that we've gotten used to nowadays. One thing I did like to mention is that in his robot mode, you can see the robot mode chest through the windscreen, which I don't like very much, but I do like that the Autobot logo that is printed onto his chest is basically the same color of red that they use for the translucent red pieces, and kind of gives off, it kind of hides the Autobot logo on his chest, which actually I do really like that that it does that. See, because now you can see it when we break it for the transformation, but now it is gone. Same kind of technology that was used for tech specs way back when, so I do really like that they kind of did like a tech spec thing for his Autobot logo to kind of hide him a little bit more in vehicle mode, although not very much hidden. Go ahead to the size comparisons here for vehicle mode. I'm going to bring out my Generations War for Cybertron Voyager class Optimus Prime to do a comparison with, since that's the best thing I have right here in vehicle mode to compare side by side. Definitely as big as the vehicle mode is for Voyager class. You can see it does kind of back then a Deluxe was pretty decent size compared to a Deluxe now. And yeah, back bumpers lined up. There's still a little bit more space on the Voyager, and then there's all this up top, but aside from that, they are pretty close to similar size here. And for robot mode comparison, we'll get into that a little bit later. Now for Cyber Key Gimmick here, this one is one that can be used in both robot and vehicle mode, and it does do the same thing for both modes, but we'll still show it off anyways, just because I love this one so much. You have the very obvious key jack here in the back of the car mode, and he comes packaged with an Earth planet key with the silver border on it. I don't think this is the exact one that he came with the code. I have all my cyber keys stored away in a Ziploc bag right now, so I just grabbed this one because I know he does come with an Earth key. So just plugging that key into the back here springs open those guns along the side. I don't know how well you could have seen that because they come out really, really fast. So we'll just do it again from this angle here. And boom. Yeah, they come out really fast, and I don't even think they got captured on more than one frame on my camera. So they're fast. Now, for transformation here, this one is actually a pretty unique transformation. First thing we're going to do is we're going to come to the back and fold these little sub feet out, and then fold these rear wheels into those spots, and then come to the front and fold these feet out. And then now for transforming here, well, we'll get into this in a little bit later, but from here, just like we did before, you want to bend here at this joint to unlock these tabs at the front from the chest, and then swing those down, and then just bring the back sections down, and then sandwich them together, and then split them apart to form the legs. Now this is what I was getting to mention a little bit ago, is in the Japanese version, if you hear any noise in the background, it's because my cat and my dog are playing and murdering each other, so sorry about that. Anyways, what I was saying is the on the Japanese version for the Takara release, this little bar right in here in the leg was completely absent, which made folding the leg, or folding the foot out, very difficult to get, because it would end up folding flush along there. But when the legs were folded up, they would clip together perfectly. But here they kind of leave a little bit of a gap and don't really lock in securely enough. And if you can see, the two struts that form each front and front and back half of the leg don't line up exactly. So that is a modification I'm thinking about probably doing here in the future. Maybe. Yeah, so anyways, now back onto the transformation here. We're going to need to move the camera up just a little bit. And continuing on, take the back section here, and you're going to need to unfold it from these bits right here. And then it's on a double hinge, so then fold that hinge up here and just get the backpack out of the way for right now. And then rotate the arms there on a hinge there to fold them up here and around like so. And then fold these door panels so the hinges are all lined up like that. And then straighten the arm out. Fold down the little waist skirt piece here. And then continue on the other side. And then this piece here, you're just going to want to make sure that it's double hinged up like that, so it folds flushly up against his back. And then lastly, just take the head here and get that up out of the way. Pull that up out of the chest. And that's definitely one thing that you want to be wary of, is that when you're transforming him out of vehicle mode and into robot mode, there's nothing really to grab onto for his head. So if you have your fingernails completely trimmed, it's going to be very hard to get that transformation done. You might have to bring out a tool like a toothpick or something to help pull it out. But anyways, there is Red Alert fully transformed in his robot mode. Now, this one is one of my favorites that I had from back then. This isn't the exact Red Alert that I owned before. I actually sold mine a long while ago, but recently this year, just getting back into the Cybertron line, this was definitely one that I had to pick up just because I had so many fond memories of this one. This toy is really fun. Take a quick close-up at that head sculpt here. We have very classic Red Alert-esque head sculpt based off of how he appeared on Armada. I really do like the way he comes off looking in this one, with the visor going. It does look very nice. As you can see, the visor is clear red plastic, but there's no light piping channel on the back of his head. Instead, the light piping channel is the little buttons on the side, and trying to get a light in there to get the light fully piped for his eyes is a little bit of a challenge, but once you do get it in there, it does kind of look really nice. Here we go. And zoom back out here. Now, for articulation wise, we do have the head is on a 360-degree rotation, so full swivel there. We have ball joint on the shoulder, so we can extend out that far, as well as rotate up that far and back that far before hitting onto the backpack. Elbows are at a 90-degree rotation, which can also rotate back a little further, just due to no locking mechanism being in there. Due to transformation, we do get a joint here at the wrist, but it is practically useless. And the skirt armor, if you do fold it up, you can get a forward kick all the way up, because that's how his transformation works. So you can go all the way up and you can go all the way back, and thanks to the weird joints on this figure, we do get an outward kick that can go that far, and knees can bend at a 90-degree as well. Well, less than 90-degree, then stuff starts banging into each other. And then nothing in articulation for the feet. And that's about it. Now, for detail-wise, this is one thing I've always liked about the Cybertron figures, is that a lot of the detail from vehicle mode transfers over to the robot mode, so it does feel like it's the same toy. And as you can see, the ball joint on this arm does get a little loose. So, not really much new for details here. We do get the arms. We do have this nice blue plastic here with these gold painted sections here. And then we do get a very cool chest piece and waist piece kind of joined together. A little bit of a weird anatomy going on with Red Alert because of that with the waist. So his waist is like halfway up his torso, and he just has a chest. He's got like no abs. But, oh well. It makes for a really decent looking toy, at least. So, for gimmick-wise, what this figure can do, for playability, we do have a couple gimmicks besides the Cyber Key gimmick. What we can do is, in the front of each of these leg pieces is a little attachment that will be equipable to his left arm, because his left arm does have the traditional Armada Red Alert gun cannon piece. And on this side we do have a hammer head, so we can plug that in. And this does just plug in. The tip of his arm cannon is a 5mm port, so, or 5mm peg, so now he does have a hand armor, or arm hammer. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit flustered here now. And then on the other side, I'll go ahead and just store that one away now. And then on the other side, he gets a capture claw. They do fit in kind of well, so getting them out sometimes, especially for this review, is a little difficult. And also, one thing to note is this can happen. The way these things are plugged in is just by a C-joint that goes onto a metal pin in there. So if you're having a hard enough time and can't access those accessory pieces because that piece is getting in the way, you can actually take off. There we go. You actually take that piece off and just put it back on. And then, so here's the capture claw. Again, 5mm port. Just pegs on like so. And now this one is actually hinged, so you can open it and close it. But he never used these in the show, and I'm not even that fond of them. I think they are pretty cool, but it is a little bit of a hassle getting them on and off and trying to find the right one to pose with him, so I do just like to leave them off most of the time. Now for size comparison, again, here, go up with, since we did the Voyager Siege Optimus vehicle mode comparison, I'll do the Leader Ultra Magnus robot mode comparison, just his standard robot mode this time, not the full armored robot, because I wanted to get a good scale compared to the vehicles, because both the general cab for this and the Siege Optimus, if you don't know, do have pretty much the same vehicle mode. So it's very similar cab and almost exact same size. So that's why I was doing it like this, just to kind of show it off. And as you can see here, Red Alert does kind of get dwarfed by a modern day Voyager class figure. But he is a deluxe class, so he was only $10 back in 2005. And getting him up next to another more recent release, this time of another deluxe class figure. I'm going to bring out the Studio Series Roadbuster so you can kind of get a look here. Now, don't get me wrong, we have been dealing with the whole size shrinkage thing ever since the movie line started coming out. So, but the Studio Series Roadbuster is a pretty decent modern deluxe class sized toy versus an older deluxe class. In terms of older deluxe classes, Red Alert here is a little short. And when we get into reviewing more Cybertron characters, I'll be showcasing that off too. So, yeah, I wanted to get that size comparison out of the way at least. Get him compared up with a couple new modern figures. And then just go with the other figure that we've reviewed so far in the line. I'm going to put him way back here. Look at him side by side next to the boss, Optimus Prime. And as you can see, he's about up to the knee on Optimus in his super mode. So Optimus is a big boy. He's kind of small, so it's kind of understandable. Anyways, this has been Rancher Reviews. I forgot to mention a couple things. Also, back to the Cyber Key gimmick, we do have the key jack here again, and those do just fold over his arms, and because they're the same color of plastic almost as the arm pieces, they do kind of get hidden in all the kibble. So it's not very visible, but it's still a nice cool thing to do. So yeah, I really do like this figure. It's a fun one to have in the collection. Very fun to play around with, easy to transform back and forth. Some really fun gimmicks to play around with. Only problem I do have is the longevity of this figure. I do feel like the clear plastic pieces over time would cause for a bit of a scare for some collectors, as well as this thing being cast almost entirely in a pure white plastic. This guy is definitely going to be prone to yellowing in the future. Thankfully, I got mine from an adult collector who kept good care of this one, and didn't have to worry about any yellowing. Now, as you can see, thanks to ball joints on clear plastic, that's why this one is becoming so loose now over time, is especially because clear plastic doesn't allow very much friction to it, so what friction it does have gets rubbed off very easily. But yeah, other than that, this figure is a very nice figure. I do highly recommend picking him up if you could find it for a good price. Unfortunately, I do not have the Cybertron Defense version of this character yet, so I'm definitely going to be reviewing that once I do get my hands on it. But for the meantime, I just have the standard definitive Red Alert, and for a good stand-in, he's a nice figure. Now, going between purchasing the Takara or the Hasbro version, that's entirely up to you. I feel like this one does have a little bit more of the accurate paint job with the gold trim pieces here added on. That's actually omitted off of the Takara release. But the Takara release does have the added stability for robot mode with those pieces being removed. But if you really wanted to, you can buy the Hasbro release and modify it yourself to get rid of that problem, which I intend on possibly doing here. So yeah, keep an eye out on that. Anyways, this has been Ratchet Reviews. I hope you guys like this video review, and I will see you again next time. Bye.